Eh bien, salut tout le monde, c'est Blood, on se retrouve pour Blues on Boulette, puisque c'est Boulette qu'on dit. Donc voilà, c'est parti.
Based on what I got out of Ivankov and these pieces of evidence, I guess he's a human trafficker. Is there evidence that proves Ivankov was trafficking in humans? Towels that are still damp. I think they tried to clean up urine stains with some kind of powerful cleaning product made with ammonia. The marks seem to have been made by teeth, although I can't be sure. Just a number. Animal fur. Bullet casings. He probably shot at whatever was in the cage. They invented these less than 20 years ago to make life easier for lumberjacks. I wonder how long it was before the mob was using them for their own ends. This is fresh blood. Not more than a day old. Dried blood. Been there a while. Marks left by the chainsaw, no doubt. A cross painted by hand in blood. Was it the prisoner's own hand and their own blood? Sickening smell, revolting stains. This was a toilet for whoever was locked up here. The diameter of these shackles is pretty conclusive. Wrists or ankles. There's still some water and the food hasn't dried out completely. This cage was occupied recently. I think it says Abdelkader, the owner of the biggest prostitution ring in Santa Esperanza. 3 Ks. Holy Christ. Jesus. Recent traces of food and drink. Shackles the right size for wrists and ankles. A bucket that contained excrement. No doubt about it, there were people in these cages. The size of the shackles, the troughs for food and drink, and the buckets for waste prove it. Can I prove that the people held here were sold? A hefty receipt for children's clothes with yesterday's date. According to Ivankov's register, not all his merchandise is accepted by the customer. Someone paid a lot of money for a piece of merchandise that could well be Sophia Capone. Human bodies, dismembered and piled up like trash. The cages are labeled with letters, or names and numbers. The labels on the cages could refer to the customers who buy human merchandise from Ivankov. I base this assumption on the register, in which some of the pieces are marked as acceptable and paid for, and others are not. What does he do with the ones that are rejected? A metal table on which bodies were mutilated recently. A scoreboard, like a knockout tournament. Cages that likely house dogs. A hefty receipt for children's clothes with yesterday. A hefty receipt for children. The forgeries belonging to Sophia Capone's kidnapper. Children's shampoo. Someone wanted them to look perfectly presentable. Towels that are still damp. Children's shampoo. Someone paid a lot of money for a piece of merchandise. A hefty receipt for children. The forgeries belonging to Sophia Capone. The giant container has been used to hold children. Was Sophia Capone held in the container? Boy's underwear. Dirty. Doesn't look like the dress Capone said Sophia was wearing.
Nah. Well, Sophia was wearing a blue dress with flowers that I personally ordered for her from Italy. She was also wearing white ballet shoes with daisies embroidered on them.
These prisoners were treated reasonably well, all things considered. No adult could sleep here. What do you have to do to a child before they draw something like that? A girl's shoe identical to the one that Capone said his granddaughter Sophia was wearing. The forgeries belonging to Sophia Capone's kidnapper. A shoe identical to the one described by Capone, and the documents used by the person pretending to be Sophia's uncle make it certain that she was held here. Sophia Capone was here, but did she get out? Someone paid a lot of money for a piece of merchandise that could well be Sophia Capone. According to the register, Ivankov was paid for Sophia, which means she was handed over to his customer. Sophia Capone got out of here, but did she get out alive? Children's shampoo. Someone wanted them to look perfectly presentable. Towels that are still damp. A hefty receipt for children's clothes with yesterday's date. The damp towels, the children's shampoo, and the receipt from the children's clothes shop indicate that they washed and dressed the children before taking them away. I strongly doubt that they washed them just to kill them, so there is reason to believe that Sophia Capone is still alive. Human bodies. A metal table. You're not going to help me?
No.
No?
I'm not a detective, and there's too much blood in this tragedy to put it down.
You want blood? I promise you, we've got oceans of it right here. And unlike the blood in your Shakespeare, this is real.
Yet another reason.
Ivankov said he dreamt of becoming a boxer. Did his dreams come true down here? There's more than blood on here. There's chunks of brain. The leather's ripped, torn. By teeth? Chewed and stained with blood and body tissue. With all the pieces that are rejected by his customers, Ivankov organizes fights, probably to the death, between prisoners and between prisoners and dogs. Maybe even between prisoners and his own men. What is the fate of those that lose? Human bodies. A metal table on which bodies were mutilated. It seems clear that those that lose in combat are hacked to pieces. Some of them while they're still alive. I'd say they're then thrown into the water, but there's no proof. We're done here. Let's go.
Already? I thought I'd have time to finish Act 4.
Are you doubting my efficiency as a detective?
That would depend on the quality of your conclusions.
Ivankov is a human trafficker. He has various customers who make specific requests. Slavers, pimps, God knows what else. He kidnaps them and puts them in these cages, shackling them and feeding them like animals until he's ready to complete the order. When he has enough, or maybe when the designated day comes around, his customer comes here and decides which of his catches are satisfactory and which are not. What does he do with the rejects? For many people, this would be a problem, but not for Ivankov. Like a true boxing fan, he organizes fights between the failed candidates. Bloody tournaments, possibly to the death. I'm sure his men place bets, and that the whole sick spectacle, like the Roman circus, helps keep morale high. But, as in the circus, it's not just people that fight. There are animals too. In these cages, Ivankov kept dogs. He forces the survivors to fight them, wearing boxing gloves, until the dogs tear them apart. And if anyone survives, Ivankov's own men finish the job. This leads us to the next problem. What does Ivankov do with the bodies? Easy. He cuts them up on this table, one by one. Alive, even, if they had the bad luck not to die in the arena. And then, I don't know. Maybe he throws them overboard, but that's always risky. Maybe if we interrogate him when he wakes up, he can tell us more. But that's not what really interests us. What really interests us is what's inside, or what was inside this container. In recent weeks, Ivankov has kidnapped 9 children for an anonymous client who pays him a fortune for each one of them. The most expensive item of all has been given the initials SC, our Sophia, as proved by one of her shoes, which I found in there. Today, or possibly last night, the customer took delivery of the children and paid in full. Before this, Ivankov bought them new clothes and gave them a shower. Why would he do that? Is it to sell them into adoption in wealthy families? I very much doubt it, but I can't figure out another reason. What I do think is that his client doesn't want to leave loose ends. I think he forced him to get rid of the rest of his prisoners. This is why they organized fights yesterday, dismembered the combatants, and even killed all the dogs.
Are you joking?
No.
Oh, man. Let's take this piece of shit to Capone.
What?
They're old friends. I'm sure Alphonse will be happy to...
Out of the question. You saw what he did to Burke. You want him to do it again? Want us to lose another witness? Christ, 20 years ago I let a child murderer slip through my fingers. I won't let that happen again. What if the two cases are related?
I'm not gonna persuade you, am I?
No.
Okay.
Wake up, Elliot.
Are we there?
No, still a ways to go. But from here we have to go on foot.
We've been in the car for 2 hours. You going to tell me why we're here?
Because we need to get there.
Come on, Jim.
Be patient. I told you it's a surprise. I want you to find out for yourself. Or don't you like surprises?
You know I don't. I'm trying to make Santa Esperanza safe and secure. A surprise implies a lack of security.
I got all the security I need in this gun.
If you say so.
Do as I say and you'll see. Take it from Jim Dockers.
Because you're my friend, right?
Don't let your guard down. Have you heard of the Voduna cult?
You mean voodoo? Dolls and needles?
Yes and no. It's different varieties of the same thing. The Vodun religion from East Africa. In Cuba, they call it Vodou. In Haiti, it's voodoo. Santa Esperanza had its own version. A little community that lived in these woods, no more than 200 people, I reckon.
Had?
Right. They say practically all of them died. A sort of civil war sparked up by betrayal. Betrayal between friends.
Really? What kind of betrayal?
The Vodunas place particular importance on a person's name. They chose a name for themselves when they reached adulthood, and they only revealed it to their partners and their descendants.
Is that so?
It is. The legend says that while he was out hunting with his right-hand man, the chief of the Vodunas was attacked by...
Not such a dumb idea. I wish no one knew my name.
Well, for the Vodunas, it wasn't that simple. Ah, shit. Help me with this, Elliot. One, two, three. They had different names for day-to-day use, nicknames similar to Indian names. Come on. Anyway, while he was out hunting, the chief of the tribe was attacked by a bear.
A bear? Don't tell me you dragged me into a wood full of bears.
I wasn't joking when I told you not to let your guard down.
Shit.
The chief's wounds look fatal, so he confided in his best friend, the best hunter in the tribe, and whispered his true name to him. The hunter left him in the woods, went back to the village, and told the news to the chieftain's wife and children.
Well, that's tough. Takes a lot of cojones to give someone that kind of news.
That's why I always take care of it. But I wouldn't pity him.
Sullivan River flows into the Donovan Dam, I think.
I didn't think geography was your department.
Sometimes I like to dabble in things that aren't officially my department.
So I see. According to Voduna law, from the moment the hunter whispered the dead husband's name to the chief's wife, he would take his place.
In what sense?
In the eyes of the tribe, he became him. He had to take on his role, fulfill his duties, raise his children, and sleep with his wife. Damn. Should be right here.
What?
The sign tells us which way we have to go. Must be hidden in the undergrowth.
Let me look for it.
Okay, I'll cover you.
Huh. This burned out a long time ago. Weeks, I guess. Animal attack, no doubt about it. Here's the sign. Looks like it was knocked over by a poacher's prey.
Well spotted. Let's go on.
You taking me to a church?
It's never a bad time to confess your sins.
What was that?
No idea.
Ah!
You are blocking my target. Sorry.
It's all right, just a scratch.
Probably a splinter.
Are we going after whatever it was?
Let's not push our luck. I don't want our story to end up like the Vaduna chieftain and the hunter.
Okay, let's go.
They built the chapel after the massacre of the Vaduna people.
You still haven't told me how that happened.
The hunter became the chief and moved in with his family. It wasn't the first time that kind of thing had happened. But one thing did happen for the first time. The wounds the bear had inflicted on the real chief were less serious than they seemed. A few days later, he came back and claimed what was his. But the hunter wasn't so sure. He was the chieftain now.
According to Vaduna law, he was right, wasn't he? The old chief had given his name and his identity to the hunter. He wasn't who he was before. He had no right to demand it back.
Sometimes the law isn't everything. At least that's what many of the Vadunas thought. But the rest of the village didn't see it that way. The Vadunas were split into supporters of the new chief and the old one, and, well, you know how it all ended. Elliot, I have a problem. I think Delphine is cheating on me with another man.
Whoa.
Some nights when I lie down next to her in bed, her hair smells of gunpowder. Someone who regularly handles guns is touching her. Do you have any idea who it could be?
I'm sorry, Jim. I should have told you before. I don't even know how it started. Jim, please, put the gun down.
Yeah, Jim, put it down. You're late. You know why they built this chapel?
We know.
Typical Americans. They find that a bunch of crazies from some wacky religion have killed each other, and they build them a church, huh? As if the dead give a damn about their Christian God.
Jim, what's going on?
I told you, it's a surprise.
Who's going in?
He is.
Me?
Trust me.
You believe in God, Ness?
Yeah? Although I doubt splashing your face with water has much to do with it. Someone had some fun at these critters' expense. Mary Magdalene, the prostitute who repented and washed the feet of Christ.
I have a gun pointing at your head. I could kill you right now.
I'm not surprised. Today is International Point a Gun at My Head Day.
I won't shoot. I'm here to help you.
Yeah?
Look under your knees.
What is this?
To you, just a bunch of scribbles. But to someone who knows what he's looking at, it could be prison bars for Capone.
You telling me Capone wrote down every one of his crimes?
Very funny, Ness. Your financial specialist, Garrison. You'll know what to do.
Why are you doing this?
What do you care? I'm serving you Capone's head on a golden plate. Don't ask questions. Just beat it, Ness. The sooner you set Garrison to work, the sooner all this will be over. God, I hate cops.
Carmine?
Please, no.
Why?
He threatened my kids.
Capone? No, you're his right-hand man, his chief executioner.
He's lost his mind. He suspects everyone and everything. He has to be stopped. Don't kill me, for my kids' sake.
You remember Don Prescott? 33 years on the force, my first partner. You left his face in such a mess, they had to make him a clay mask so his family could look at him at the funeral.
Capone wanted him dead.
What about Amber Fisher, 15 years old? You held her prisoner for 3 days. She committed suicide only hours before we came to rescue her. I don't need to remind you what you did to her, do I?
I was following orders.
No. Capone orders you to kill. You improvise. You enjoy it.
You can't do this.
Elliot, don't do it. Kill an unarmed man and it'll haunt you your whole life.
I deserve a trial.
We're cops, not killers.
Jesus, Ness, weren't you...
Control your anger.
Weren't you the most honest man in Santa Esperanza?
Go back to Capone. Don't let him suspect a thing. And when I bring him to justice, you'll testify against him.
Yeah. Thank you, Ness. Thank you.
Well done. I made that mistake once. Only once. And it still torments me. Let's go.
Congratulations, Carmine. Great performance.
My kids.
Don't worry. I'm not going to touch them.
Thank you.
I always keep my word.
If Capone finds out what you made me do, he'll kill me.
That won't happen. You have my word.
Thank you.
Well, I think Capone is going to need a new right-hand man.
Did Carmine get in touch with you? How did you do it?
It doesn't matter. Stroke of luck. Now, all we need to do is be careful. See what Garrison can find.
Jim, about Delphine?
Shut it. First we finish Capone. Then we talk.
Alone again, Ness? Wow, don't tell me your friends let you down again. Lucky you got me, huh? I'm losing my mind. It's only logical that Dawkins should abandon you. You just told him you're screwing his wife. Honest and moronic. But what about the others? What will they think of you? You lose touch with everyone, Ness. Maybe it's just that anyone who gets close to you winds up dead. You should try to save her, right? The question is, can you? Do you even want to? It's funny. You don't mind giving half your earnings to some two-bit thief who walks into your restaurant, but when your friends are in danger...
No, please, no.
The wire was tapped. They broke into my house. Why did you get me mixed up in this?
Alice!
Elliot. This is your fault. Get me out of here.
Hang on, Alice. I'll find you.
Maybe I was too hard on you. Some friends you do help. Like good old Capone. You should have shot him 20 years ago. But instead of that,
You're always late, Ness. You're a failure.
you pal up with him on condition he goes back to the jail where he should be rotting.
My father asked you to take care of me. Is this how you respect a dead man's wishes?
Very good. You've picked your friends.
Elliot, please.
Say goodbye to the others.
Alice,
No! Alice!
This is a nightmare. Has to be.
Poor guys, huh? You're the one that should be in the body bag, not them. Either way, where were you? Dr. Dawkins to the 7.
Delphine, no! Not you!
I was followed, Elliot. From the diner. What are you mixed up in?
I see. You were spinning your secret sweetheart a line.
Delphine, no! Not you! Don't worry, Delphine. I'm coming!
You'll never learn, Elliot. You'll go on putting all the people you love in danger, won't you? Until you're completely alone.
Oh, God! Delphine, no! Oh.
What are you going to do when you're done crying? Now you don't even have the option of getting drunk.
You're a failure.
You didn't even have the cojones to finish off his goon in the church. I doubt you'll be able to deal with the real problem.
You're a failure. The only thing you ever did right was put me away. How'd you do it, huh? How? Tell me.
That's the spirit, Elliot. I'm sure this God you believe in your own way approves of strength, right?
Die!
That's right. Yes, kill me.
Die!
You know which part of yourself you're killing, don't you?
Die! 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 Die!
Bon les loulous, on a un problème, le jeu a planté. Donc ce qu'on va faire, c'est qu'on va s'arrêter là. Moi je vous donne rendez-vous pour la suite dans la prochaine partie. Allez, bye bye.